Hello people, it's Gavin here from Hologram Productions, and this is the first start to finish video that I have decided to post on my channel. And this is largely because I feel really inspired after watching a video of Mall Grab performing a gig in Mixmag, which he performed about a year or so ago. I didn't see it live, unfortunately, even though I live in London. But I watched the video and I could see that how excited people were getting in the room. People were sort of jumping up and down and jumping around, and I really felt that I'm in the mood to make the kind of music which will actually physically make people move, taking some inspiration from his track Sleepless. However, not entirely. I do want the track to be relatively fast. I decided 135 BPM. I want it mostly to be 4 to the floor, and I do want there to be a breakbeat section, and I also want there to be a lead which has this driving quality to it. And I know that I'm going to need to use a load of UK garage samples for the drums and add a lot of grit to the bass, a Reese bass, and also having some lead. And I think I'll be able to do almost all of it through stock Ableton plugins. And you'll notice that my template involves bass, drums. I really only have a kick template and then a secondary drums audio, which I will duplicate every time I come up with a new idea. And then I have pads. There's pad 1 and pad 2, one of which is a pad which I sometimes construct from random samples, and one which I use wavetable. And then the same thing for the lead 1 and lead 2, and they're both wavetable. Maybe I'll swap them out for something else, maybe I will not. Who knows? Let's go and see. So let's get started by putting a kick in there. So I'm going to go to the drums. I'm going to loop a section here. So right click, insert MIDI clip, click here, Command L to loop. Before I even put a sample in, I know I need to put the MIDI in. So go to quarter notes, go to C3, click on that, then Command D, and now I'm holding down on Command D so that it just copies a kick all of the way out to there. I think I might loop a more narrow section here. I'm not going to follow this too strictly. And now I need a decent kick. Let me type in UK kick to see what kind of kicks I've got in my sample pack. And I'm going to find a kick which I know has a nice British boomy quality to it. It's got a nice transient, a nice warm... See, there's some really, really good kicks. This comes from one of my UK garage packs. But I know that there was one that I really liked because it reminded me of that I really like Creed, although it's a little bit empty on energy. Oh, there you go. It's Violet. It's perfect. Well, no, it's not perfect. Let's transpose it down by 4 because I want to make it deeper. Go to the EQ. Nice, although I'm going to calm down the frequencies around here because they are potentially a bit knocky. Not too harsh. Okay, I like that. That's cool. That's my kick. I love it. I think maybe I'll make it a little bit shorter though. Yeah, I think that's better. Now for second drums, I'm going to need a selection of bongo layers. So I'm going to look for this in minimal loops. I've got Vengeance packs here. So Vengeance pack, minimal loops here. Because I know that there's a bunch of bongo type stuff in here. Sure. Maybe I could use that one, not sure. Maybe. I think I like that one. I like the knock sound that you get. Although I think straight away I want to get rid of maybe I'm trying to find a groove that I like here. Oh, Oh, I quite like that. Do 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 do. Let me try that. Turn this one down. Okay, I like that. So Command J. May turn that down a bit. That's nice. Let's go to EQ. Roll it off. Look for any piercing frequency straight away. So to kind of calm that down a bit. Always have a compressor ready to sidechain to the kick. So drag that in, go to the sidechain, click kick. Okay, so now I need another one. I'm going to call this bongo 1. Highlight that, delete it, call this bongo 2. So now we're going to need some other bongo loop in there. So let's find another one from the same pack. Potentially. I'm waiting for it to jump out at me. It's too high pitched. There's shakers and it's not dark enough. Too bright. Oh! That's jumped out of me. Go here. I like it. Oh yes! Look a bit darker. Okay, great. Okay, so we got a nice groove. Okay, that's good. Okay, so now what else are we going to need? Okay, we're going to need a clap. So let's take the kick line and duplicate that and call it a clap, which means you're going to go into the Midi and then delete every first one. Delete all of those. Take that and duplicate it out. Okay, so now we're going to get a bunch of claps. I think we're just going to resort to what do you call it? Vengeance claps. So let's see if we can find some claps in here. The pack Electro Essentials will be good. Right, so Electro Samples, cutted samples, snares and claps. Hold on, what? Maybe it's Electro Essentials 2. Okay, so there's a few here I think I can use. Do I like that one? No, darn, it's the wrong pack. It's Electro Essentials, not Essential House. Here we go. Yeah, we're definitely closer here. Okay, here's a good one. Okay, let me just turn the volume down on these. Okay, that clap needs to be layered. So let's group that. And let's duplicate that. And let's find ourselves another clap in here. I'm going to just use a clap as a transient. Let's put that in there. This is just to add a bit of transient to the clap. Let me make sure that we have the EQ right on this kick. I don't want any information above here. Just kind of here, maybe boost it a bit. Just to help it smack through, I suppose. And then maybe just one more. Oof, definitely not that one. Another one with a bit of attack, just so therefore you're adding a little bit of tail or noise to the end of the clap. Yeah, maybe that. Maybe a bit higher, a bit of attack. Okay. Okay, let's put a bit of processing on this. Okay. I know I'm going to need to put a bit of glue on this. GLUE. I know I need to put a limiter on it. Just to keep the dynamic range low. Go to 3, 8. Pull the threshold back until I'm getting a small amount of glue because I don't want to add too much color yet. I just want to control it. And then maybe a bit of drum bus just to give it a bit more squeeze. Okay. Oh yeah, I think that we're going to have to add a few returns and reverbs for sure. I quite like to use Supermassive for my reverbs. This is like a free version of Valhalla Vintage Verb. So let's just put this in here. Let's get rid of this. Take a look at what we got. There's a particular one that I'm looking for. It's called Hall of Onions. Oh, here we go. Hall of Orion, we're saying. So shift that up to here. Making sure, like with everything, even with your sends, you have to make sure that you're cutting off the lows in case you're accidentally adding reverb in the low end. And you also need to make sure that you're sidechaining everything to the kick. I'm going to sidechain it quite heavily. Now might be a good time in order to start gluing some of these sounds down. I'm going to use a gentle glue setting with the limited range. Because you can see that there are bits when the needle is wobbling high and sometimes low, which is just bringing the dynamic range down. Because every time it hits this spike here and this spike here, it's a bit loud. Because I want the kick to smack through. I think it's time to add a at 909 for certain. The sample I quite like is a sample called Hat Bumped, which is basically a 909 sample I got from a garage, the same garage pack as everything else that I'm using. Hat, hi-hat, B-U-M, I'll just type in bumped, B-U-M-P. Goodness sake, where is it? Oh yeah, I just found it here. Loop Garage, tops bumped. So let me go. And of course, making sure that go to quarter notes, highlight everything, and then push everything to the right. Okay, make this a bit louder by turning the drive up. Rolling off the unnecessary lows. Normally I wouldn't boost around here, but when it comes to the 909 hat, there's an awful lot of noise or texture in this area that you do need. Now put a limiter on that. Boost it again, put another EQ. Okay, so I think I can go along with that. Now we're going to need a shaker. Okay, so bongo bongo. Now let's create an audio channel. Still have to make sure that I have. To be honest, I'm probably just going to copy and paste over this whole thing into here, and this is going to be my shaker 1 loop. There's probably going to be more than one. Let me put it near to where I have the hat. And now I got to find a shaker loop. So let me just literally type in shaker loop and let it load and see what we can find. L O P. Try all results. Okay, fine. I think I could run with that. Let me drag that in. I think I'm going to quantize this to 16th. Right click, quantize to 16th. Go to beats and pull back the transients so they're tighter. Oh yeah, and there is an audio effects rack which I quite like for shaker, which, let me see if I can remember. I think it's called Gritty Shaker. Here we go. Right, so let me go here, and let me just put this in here. Okay, so this is cool. So what this is doing is that it's adding erosion, which is adding an awful lot of stereo width and basically noise in the lower end, just around here. And then echo, of course, which is basically widening the sound. I think I might loop this at a different point. Yeah, because I'm not a huge fan of... Actually, I'm not going to use a compressor. I think I'm going to use an LFO. Because there are moments whenever the shaker gets really, really loud at the point that the kick hits. So I want to duck that out of the way more effectively using the LFO tool. The other thing I'm not fully happy with is this. I want to control the dynamic range. Okay, I think that works. So I believe the next thing will be some kind of additional gritty sound, maybe. Let's call it sort of like maybe shaker grit. Could be pretty much anything. I think I'm going to go to some kind of Foley sound for this. So be pretty much anything. So on sound, beats. Something with an offbeat on it. I'm not too sure if this is going to work. Let me just try. But I'm going to quantize settings to 16ths, and I'm going to apply a swing on the groove. I think maybe 1659. Okay, this can be a very, very weird sound, but I find it very interesting. And then maybe I'll just run this through more shaker effects, filtered shaker effects. Let's put that on here. Okay, so for some reason the filtered shaker effects is not working. So let me just put on the, okay, not working, the gritty shaker effects. Let's try that. Right from the jump. Audio effects, put on a limiter. I'm not so worried about crushing the transients here. And the filtered thing, it was meant to be this sound here. Yeah, some sort of gritty idea here. I don't think I want that much feedback. A bit of envelope, so therefore there's going to be a movement in the sound. But keep it down because I really only want this as a groove underneath. This sound I don't like at all. Maybe I should try looping it somewhere else. Yeah, I think I prefer that, to be honest. I wonder if we're done. I mean, apart from the fact that I would quite like to do a bit of a mixdown on these drums in order to maximize their energy. So let's put a selection of mixdown effects. The mixdown light. This is like a generic rack which I apply to all of my drums. And I've also got to go and take a look at the volumes of things. I don't want anything to be too bright. So I'll turn this off first. Could make this a short. Maybe turn it down a bit, this one. I think I'm okay with that. Okay, so I suppose I'll explain these step by step. I like to get this done right at the beginning of the creative process. The first thing I'm going to add is a bit of control on the EQ. Maybe boosting the bass just a little bit more. I've already cleaned this area out and an awful lot of my sound, so I don't need to add too much of a notch here. I think we may need to calm this area down a bit. And maybe control that area. Maybe this area here a bit. That's nice and controlled. The first glue settings to 384. I'm going to try to glue the kick a little bit. So I'm going to pull this down until the needle wobbles to the point where I'm getting minus 1.5 dB, no more than that. Because this is Hardgroove, the gluing and compression is not an exact science. You can overdo it. Okay. And then I lost 1.5 and now I'm going to add 1.2.7. That's fine. And now there's a really, really fast glue. Fast attack, fast release, fast ratio. This is designed to catch the high frequencies. even before I pull the threshold back. It's already working overtime, so let's pull the range back, have it on soft clip because you're gluing the top end. Pull the threshold back. It's about 1.5, so let's add back almost 1.5. I just want to make sure that the drums smack. That's what's important for me. Done the multipan dynamics. I'm going to replace the preset for a non-preset. I want to get maybe minus 1.1 dB gain reduction by compressing the low end. So I'm going to go to ratio 1.112. Oh, it's fine. Perfect. So all I need to do is boost that back. So that's a sufficient compression on the bass. Now the mids, 1.123 is an ideal ratio for compressing the mids. And I want to pull the threshold down until we're gaining maybe minus 2.6, minus 2.7 gain reduction as the maximum. Okay, so we're limiting the range there, so I'm just going to boost it back by maybe 2.1. Okay, and here again, 1.53, yeah, that's an ideal ratio, 1.1.31, 1 to 1.31, sorry. And then I will be hopefully losing maybe 3 dBs. 2.9, that's close enough. So the range is between 2.9 and 1. So let me push it out to 2.5. I don't want it to be overly bright. And then output, just a tiny amount. Saturator, not an exact science, just to make it a bit warmer. Minus 1 on the output, plus 2 on the drive. And here, perhaps I need to calm down the highs a little bit. Here as well. How about we go back to the kick? And let's say if we can add a transient to this kick to make it smack through even more. Let me duplicate that, and then let me think of a snare. So I'll just type in some sort of snare sample, and then something with a lot of, noise in the transient. So we can add that as the transient, but let me just roll off everything up to about here. Turn that down. So let's see the difference with them now. Oh no, you can hear too much, so I need to smoothen it out. The key to these kind of things is it needs to be smooth, so that's why you turn the volume down. Let's try that as a difference. Gently turning it up. Yeah, I think that's enough. Okay, so we got decent drums. Okay, so I really like them. So let me duplicate that out for a long section. I want to add the bass at this point. Consider a drone in G. So let me go here. So insert here. Go to 4-note bar. D. Okay, so let's make this a respace. I can already hear the lead in my head. So shift down again. Gotta make this a respace. Turning it to sawtooth. And then the other one also is going to be sawtooth. Slightly detuned. Roll off the highs. And let's go to shimmer. Make it nice and dark. Now what we need to do here is we're going to have the sub separate. I can already hear a melody in my head actually. So let me draw it in here. That. That's cool. It is mono and glide. Okay, this is sounding really, really cool. Really, really smacking me over the head, which I'm loving. Okay, I'm going to turn this down. I'm going to turn it up by putting in an OSR filter, which has a drive, and turning up the drive to make it more harmonically resonant and thicker. Now, we also need to glue this sound down quite significantly because it gets quite loud. So, generally speaking, 3, 8, 4, and then threshold here, and basically pointing them both up like two tits. Yeah, one other thing that I'd like to do here is I'm going to go to the instrument and then maybe go to the transposition and then have a couple of wobbles going on. Oh, lovely. That's cool. Let's increase the glide time. Yeah, lovely. That's really good. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this now, and I'm going to use this as one of my leads. So let me put this into the lead section. Call this lead 1. So I can delete lead 1 now. Just make sure that the color is the same as this one, because I like to keep things organized. Because I can hear in my head a diddle 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 diddle, just a repeated note over and over and over again. Okay, so let's loop that. It's going to be 16th notes. There's definitely a better way of doing this, but I sometimes get so fed up with the format of Ableton that I just copy and paste it out now. So creating a pluck sound, going to the envelope. Okay, that's interesting. I think maybe I like this as a square. I don't like that, so I'm just going to keep the transposition the way it should be. Cleaning up this envelope is a bit of a pain. I'm going to apply the same... Oh, no, I think that's too heavy. I'm going to apply a slightly milder swing on this one. Let's put it in poly. Think maybe an echo effect. Let's put glue. Again. Better. Okay, I can actually hear in my head a lead, which is reminding me of a hip hop tune. I forget the name of it. So. Oh, lovely. Put this one up. And then maybe even loop that one before. Yeah, this is cool. Let's drag it back to here. Because I want the loop to be continuous, so you don't really know when it's going to loop back on itself. Oh. I think we got a winner. Okay, this is fucking good. I'm liking this. Let me take a pause for a second. Right, that was a really long break, so I think I took a break of like a day. Now, to come back to this. Okay, this is sounding cool. I feel I need to put in some FX. So let's say, for example, I could create a Midi. Call this FX. Because I do actually have a pack here called Computer Game Sound Effects, which involves just a bunch of different kind of computer game sound effects, which I'm going to try to utilize. This is just like, I'm not too sure where I got this. I think what I did was I had a pack which is like 8-bit sound effects, and I grouped all of them into audio, and I consolidated them, and I dragged them in here. I went into slice mode, so you could play different sounds using my keyboard. I'm just having a listen. Let me just loop this here. Insert. Oh, wait. Okay, I could potentially have this. Take all of this, copy and paste it here, 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 and here. But I'm not going to have it playing the whole time. Oh yeah, the reverb is quite heavy here. Possibly because the input's too long, or the feedback's too long. Possibly also the time. Oh, this is cool, I just transposed it down, so now the tune should be right. Need to put an LFO on this. So maybe I won't use this the whole way through the track. Maybe I will just have it in the breakdown section. So for now, I'm going to turn it off. So now I think I want a breakbeat section. So let me put this one out here. Let me have the bass turned off. Let me temporarily mute this. I'm thinking boom, chat, boom, boom, chat, boom, chat, boom, boom, chat. So if I loop in here. And then maybe some. Cool. going to have the fade out a bit sharper here because I think that the tail is too long. Make it a little bit shorter. I also want to do something here, some sort of filter. Yeah. I'm thinking. So now let me go into the wave table. I like to turn the filter up here. Not only the filter, but perhaps the decay. So filter 1 frequency, the amp decay time. Lovely. Didn't work on both because I forgot to copy and paste this over for the frequency. Blimey, Charlie. Pause a second. Sorry, let me continue. Yeah, I think that's quite cool. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling this. So let's have this section. So I want this breakdown section to go for a bit longer. And also at the start of the breakdown section, I wonder if I should put a different kind of bass there. So let me just create a breakdown bass. Rename bass breakdown. And I'm going to have a sort of a glide bass gliding between the notes. Let me start off, excuse me, with an operator for this. And Command J, use the Midi here. These Midi notes are going to guide me as to the notes I need to avoid. So therefore the gaps between the notes are the places where I can play around with the bass. Maybe another one here, maybe another one here. So what I want is there to be a glide effect on it. So first of all, let me transpose it down. I want there to be only a single voice because I only want it to be in mono. Transpose it down further. Let me go to the fine. Yeah, okay, fine. Here we go. So now with that, let's go to the operator. Let's go to the fine. And let's start drawing in some... some glides. Maybe a big one here. Right here. Going right up to the top. And then right back down. Okay, so I want there to be more harmonics in this bass, so let me go to the envelope oscillator. Let me go to 24. Draw a couple of harmonics. And now I'm going to go to glue, and I'm going to glue this an awful lot. I'm also going to put a bass roundup amp on this to make it sound less cheap. The truth is, I don't really want to feel the. I more want to feel the bass than hear it. So I'm basically trying to draw on the harmonics in a way that I find the sub pleasant, but not too obviously FM-y. So I need to get rid of that one. This harmonic is the thing that makes it sound quite like an FM pluck bass, which is quite cheap. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to try widening it up and then putting it into mono. Oh yeah. Now, probably shouldn't need to sidechain this because, like I said, the MIDI notes hit away from the kick, but still good idea to do it anyway. Play that out. Like I said, and then now I'm going to have a delete there. And have the real bass come back in here. I don't think all the drums should be here. I think maybe I should turn off something for the breakdown section. Perhaps we need maybe potentially turn that off, just to have some sort of variety. Let's see how we feel about that. So now we got all of these drums. I think what I might do is I kind of want there to be like a parallel reverb here. So I'm going to duplicate this. Roll off the lows here. Roll off the lows here. Turn the volume down a lot. And I'm going to put in and make sure that this is side-chained to the main kick. We'll turn the volume down a lot. Now see if we can hear the difference, and we can play around the volume here. Okay, we can play around with that later on. Turn up the reverb here. Long decay. Okay, so we're going to need some sort of build to a drop. Also on the drop, I think we should probably create it here. Maybe we should... Okay, we need to keep something going. Maybe keep these going. We need, let's say, a riser. And we're gonna also need a crash. Over the riser, let's try an up sweep sound. Sweep up. Yeah, this is a specific one I like. I've used before. Okay, so I could put that here. I also have a riser group, which has some compressors, reverb, and EQ and whatnot. Forget it. Can't find it, so let me just make another one. GLUE. An echo and an EQ to cut off the lows. Put that in the wrong place. So I'm going to bring this forward a bit to about here. Okay, so I think this group we can also apply to here for the crash. So what kind of crash sample have we got? Let's try this one. Okay. Maybe a bit shorter than that. So let's maybe not make it so long. Okay. And as for the kick, Okay, so therefore... Okay. And then into the main melody. Okay, so therefore let's go and grab all of our really heavy drums. Command X and then Command V out here. Oh, incidentally, right before the end here. Okay, so this idea that we've created here is definitely gonna be brought over here, but I think actually I want this minimized before the drop. Okay, so we definitely got an awful lot of good stuff going here. So let's consider carving out an arrangement. So I would say let's create a silence of maybe 32 bars. So let's take this loop. This is pretty much everything in there. We're not going to start with the lead sounds. We're definitely not going to start with this. And possibly not have the 909 hat. Okay. And not have the clap. Okay. Duplicate that. Maybe not have the lead. Or if we don't have the lead, maybe we should have the lead with less reverb. So short omission and new line. Turn that down and also turn the peak down. Maybe gradually allow the peak to come up. Yeah, I would like there to be another version of this. I just heard. So let me take this half bar. Loop this and duplicate. Oh, lovely. I like that. maybe not that often. Let me try looping it about here. And then duplicate. I suspect that maybe the bass could also come in, but the bass will just be that constant tone. However, I'm not going to have the whole of the bass coming through initially. Okay, so let's have that filtered and then maybe gradually coming through here. The thing that's gradual about it would be building up the filter again. Basically using your envelopes in order to build up tension. Yeah, I want another silence, maybe 16 bars. And I'm going to loop this. Not going to have the hats coming in just yet. Nor will I have the claps coming in. So this can rise into the beginning of the track, just like the main breakdown. So let's take this, Command X, put it here. We're going to turn the volume down a bit. Oh, it's too early, excuse me. EQ'd this, and I don't want this frequency to build up too high. Yeah, and that reverb is definitely too much at the beginning. Don't want that piercing too much either. So how does that sound from the beginning? I think we do need this at the beginning, however, maybe is there something we can change about it? Just this one section. Yeah, make it tight. looser later on. Maybe just a little bit looser, 35. And the rest of the time, it's at 53. That's sounding good. The peak value probably will increase gradually as well. I just heard an idea. And maybe just at that bit there, we could have the decay time increase it. Yeah, that riser needs to go the whole way, I'd say. So now let's bring the filter of this down again. I think it got, honestly, it got too big. Oh, but the filter didn't cut off, so the sub needs to come in at this point. That beefy sub. In the bass. I'm thinking that this is probably happening a bit too often. Let's just have some dry drums and bass at this point. I think I'm going to create another 16 bar section. Silence. 16 bar section. And in this 16 bar section, we might have a bit more of this. I'm going to play around now, I think. I'm going to make sure that all of these are unarmed, and I'm going to play around a bit with the frequency and maybe the decay time. So let's go here, press record. Let's Actually, no, more in this section here. Okay, actually I can feel another 16 bars could go here. So let me just put in 16 bars. Some sort of section before the breakbeat section. Okay, so. Again, let's have another big sweep into this. So I'm going to take this sweep and ooh, definitely all can't stop. Yeah, the shaker grid can't stop. Right there, I'm sensing that we need to have right at the end. That's good. Okay, so here we definitely need the filter to be higher for the bass. And also we need, I suspect we need the reverb to be a bit more here as well for this lead. A little bit of reverb on the echo. So let's go for broke. Let's do another big one. And let's bring in this. Actually, at what point? I may make mistakes here, but I may go back and fix them. Okay, and then one big final go to the finish. And then the bass is just going to be, let's say, the outro bass. So we're just constructing a basic outro. Go to the fourth. Yeah, but not, I'm not copying over that. Maybe just for this section here, temporarily cutting off the lows. Feel as if this sound could be a bit bigger, so I'm going to go and put on artificial flutter. To me, keep the energy high. we've had enough of you. No. Just delete the file. Gradually put that out. Holy crap. Sounds like we're pretty much gosh darn finished. Do we need anything more? I suppose it might be an idea to just take a look at the general vibe and mixing. I'm going to have one more listen through. And it's, I would say, 90% finished, apart from, having to do some touches, testing it out with the crowd and see what kind of, the length of the breakdown, things like that. But let's have one more listen. And I'm just going to pause every now and then. I think that things need to change. Strong opening. I like the way the shaker suddenly gets louder there. I like the way this lead is building. That's fine. All good. Let's go. These envelopes aren't perfect. I mean, I literally just played these in as I was going, so I may go back and tweak these a bit, but it's still sounding high energy. I'm happy with how it's going. And this stuff I might play around with as well. Just being a little bit anal, I think in this section here, when this note is playing at the same time as that note, I think I'm going to roll off the do tone. Maybe. I don't know if this is going to fuck it up. No, what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to stop the at that point and just have it more flat. Turn that down a bit. Yep, rolling off the lows of the drums here I think is a good technique. Might be too loud. Maybe the decay time is a little bit too long here. It would be better to minimize that for the club. It sounds good on headphones, but let's bring it back, dial it back a bit. I mean, there you go. That's basically how to make a Hardgroove melodic techno track from start to finish. Now, when I say finish, the reality is that what will happen is any producer who gets to this point of the track will have to therefore give yourself a bit of distance, go back to it in a couple of days' time, have a look at it more objectively, consider cleaning things up, potentially adding more refinement to the FX sounds, a little bit more refinement to the EQ, and that's the point at which what you'd want to do is then submit it to a mixing engineer to sort of clean up the edges that you didn't quite hear, and then send it for master, and then play it out and see if it rocks the crowd. I think this track has a fuckload of potential. I'm really, really happy with where it went and where the inspiration went, and I think it's a jolly good solid track. So if you've actually made it this far, by the way, congratulations if you've made it this far, because there's an awful lot of information in 90 minutes. I'd be very, very happy to hear of anyone who watched this tutorial, followed along, and was actually able to follow it, was able to take from some of the skills, because there are bits whenever I was explaining what I was doing, and there were other bits when I was absolutely running with my instinct where I may very well not have explained things, and I'd be very, very happy to get that kind of feedback, such as, for example, dude, slow down, make a 4-hour long video. although I imagine that's going to be quite in the minority, although I would still be very, very happy to hear that. This is one of the first times I've decided to do this start to finish format, largely because having watched the Mixmag gig, I was inspired to do something, and I think it went fairly well. And if there is demand for it, I will do more like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this project available. So, I mean, at this point, I've literally just made it. So literally as I'm speaking right now, in my time frame, nothing is prepared. But by the time you're watching this, you know, fast forward to your future, there will be links in the description which will guide you to the sample pack on Bandcamp, the MIDI pack on my website, which is www.hologramproductions.com, whereupon you will not only have access to exactly what you see in front of you, you will have access to an even more refined version of this track, which I will go back to and make edits to. Not massive edits, artistically speaking. It'll be more or less the same thing, but it will be, I would say, more or less mixed down. You will have also access to the final WAV export, so therefore you could own the track and even play it out if you wish to do so. The channel needs an awful lot of support, so therefore hopefully at this point, and it's probably too late to mention it, that you have decided to, you know, like and subscribe, because I definitely am going to need as many people coming to this channel as possible. Oh, by the way, if I sound inarticulate, it's because my brain is fried from having done this video, which means I'm going to wrap up. But yeah, check the link in the description, like and subscribe. You would be supporting me by contacting me for personal one-on-one tutorials. My email is in the description, and the MIDI pack is in the description. Okay, toodaloo.